Good day, everyone. I am Aiza Balenya, the assigned discussant about the flipped classroom versus traditional classroom. What is flipped classroom? What does it exactly mean? So, flipped classroom, it's a 180-degree shift in traditional education. But what does that say? With the flipped classroom, students have direct access to the knowledge and the teacher serves as a coach and mentor. With the flipped classroom model, students have to prepare their contact moments. During contact moments, teachers are able to zoom in on the application and deeper processing of the learning material. As you can see here, I have two sample pictures of a flipped classroom, wherein the teacher's role guide on the side. Next, what is traditional classroom? In the traditional model, the teacher stands between the students and the knowledge. Students have no or little knowledge about the subject when they come to class. In class, they get taught all the knowledge, and it is often the basic knowledge about the subject. Students have to do more comprehensive knowledge at home. It's called homework. The process of thought is mostly viewed after doing a test. So here, as you can see, the teacher is teaching the student, as well as the second picture, the teacher is what? Teaching how to read the students. So what is the difference between the two? The flipped versus traditional classroom. In flipped classroom, teacher instruct lessons at home. It could be video, podcast, book, or website. Students work in class. Deeper understanding of concept, applications, and connection to content are made. Students receive support as needed. In traditional, teacher instructs, students take notes, students follow guided instruction, teachers gives assessment, students have homework. Here, the traditional classroom. Here showing the difference between the traditional classroom and flipped classroom. The traditional classroom, the teacher's role, sage and stage. While the flipped classroom, teacher's role, guide on the side. Students watch lectures at home at their own pace, communicating with peers and teachers via online discussions. Concept engagement takes place in the classroom with the help of the instructor. So let's come to the advantages of the flipped learning. First is the flexibility. Limited time is the common obstacles that employees face when taking part in ongoing training. But flipped learning helps by eliminating the need for long-time intensive in-person lectures. Instead, online courses can fill the role of an instructor as the main source of information. Online courses take much less time than face-to-face because they are easier to squeeze between other daily tasks and can be taken from anywhere and anytime. For this reason, it is also the preferred learning styles of many employees. Second, personalized. Flipped learning can help your organization's continuous education program get off the ground by giving your employees the power to spend time where they need the most. Third, encourages active learning. Flipped learning helps the employee take an active role. Fourth, promotes practical-based learning. Flipped learning uses the contact time with the instructors and peers as a chance to apply what they learned in a practical way. Fifth, reduces cost. Passing on knowledge through in-person training is more costly than through flipped learning. So, let us proceed to the disadvantages of flipped learning. First, requires greater levels of self-discipline. The learner-focused nature of flipped learning can be a downside for employees who struggle with self-discipline. So, second, reliance on technology. Employees get most of their information from learning content which is often stored online rather than an instructor. Third, resistant to change. Although flipped learning ultimately saves both the instructor and employees time, setting up your first flipped course will require more time and energy than continuing with the status quo. Instructors have to introduce the employees to an entirely new concept. And the employees will need time to adjust and embrace the move from passive learning style to an active learning style. The fourth, next is the advantages of traditional learning. First, accessibility. In traditional learning classroom, the educator is accessible during the school hours, yet additionally for a period when school. In contrast to an online class, you approach a balanced intelligence session with the educator where whenever, during, or after a class gets over for any further explanation on the exercise instructed. Availability additionally implies understudies without access to personal computers or the web can't go to an online class. Next, structure. Understudies are commonly acquainted with the classroom feeling and instructing style. In any case, when web-based educating is presented, a few understudies will be unable to adjust to such a creative structure and thus their inspiration to study will reduce. Third, discipline. Traditional learning lays accentuation on the significance of the order. As understudies need to go to classes on time, bombing which they might be exposed to serious discipline. The fourth, social and educational development. In the traditional learning classroom, understudies collaborate with their companions and the educator eye to eye. The earth urges students to be progressively social and well-disposed with others. Also, understudies can straightforwardly approach the educator with their inquiries, which the individual in question can illuminate immediately. Fifth, instructor-driven training. The teacher drove training in classrooms to request true fixation and learning condition by removing understudies from their work areas. So let us proceed to the disadvantages of traditional learning. First, students' focus is set in the wrong direction. In taking notes instead of understanding and engrossing your ideas. Understudies' powerlessness to handle key thoughts and ideas. Failed exercise objective. So next, second, too much focus on presentation, little time left for practice. Since an instructor needs to convey a fixed number of ideas inside a restricted time, most classroom exercises are gotten the job done to the introduction arranged as it were. The practice is left for the understudy to do as homework. This procedure does not take into consideration understudies to explore different avenues regarding new ideas. This learning is put into a spot at a specific stage. They end up packing ideas and are unfit to deliver anything productive aside from conventional responses to test question. Last, third, a teacher's lecture is generally one size fits all. Only 1 out of every odd understudy has a similar pace of learning, while a few understudies can pursue the educator's additional with accommodation. The vast majority of the others expect time to chow on the data that they are getting. Poor evaluations and slackings in classroom execution is a noteworthy supporter of a poor mental self-view and absence of certainty. So, that ends my report. Thank you and God bless.